Love this man. Pro Football Hall of Famer, part of the Ravens radio broadcast team as he's been all year long. Rod Woodson here on the Rich Eisen Show. How are you, Rod? Good to see you.
I am doing great, man. I can't complain. The only thing is I do have to travel back to the East Coast quite a bit, working with Baltimore, but getting on a flight and calling really good games and a great environment like in the NFL, it's nothing like it.
Well, let's look at the positive. Let's look at the silver lining, Rod. Let's look at the glass half full here. As you got a little mini buy right there, and then your next flight is because you're living in Vegas there. Next flight's to Los Angeles. That's just a hop, skip, and the jump.
I'm driving. I'm driving.
You drive? Are you driving?
It's only a 4-hour drive.
So
it's a 4-hour drive. It'll take me 35 minutes to get to the airport. I got to wait around for an hour.
Right.
Get to LAX, whatever hotel we're going to stay at over there.
Okay.
I got to go over there. That would take me 4 hours. So I'd rather be in my own car.
Oh no!
And it's a Sunday night game, which I would normally have to wait until Monday morning to leave.
Right.
But now I can leave Sunday night, drive home.
But hold on a minute. You're not sitting in the back of a courtesy car, Rod? Not a stretch limo taking you down?
Oh, heck, that is, Rich, that is not me. That's some of your other guests. I'm from the Midwest, man. I am blue collar to the bone.
Mr. Indiana.
You know I'm not doing that stuff.
Mr. Football of Indiana. That's who you are. That's who you are, right, Rod? Correct? You know?
Well, I am from Indiana. I don't know if I'm Mr. Football from Indiana, but I'm there.
You weren't? You weren't back in the day?
I don't even know if they had those type of things back in the day, and if they did, I don't know if I even was. If I was, they never told me, so I can't answer that question.
Yeah, you can't be a Boilermaker and sit in the back of a stretch limousine going from Vegas to Los Angeles.
That's Boilermaker. That's just blue collar to the bone.
Mm-hmm. I love it. All right, sort of like the Ravens. Let me transition then. Here we go. What did you make of the win last night by Baltimore, Rod?
I love the win. I love Lamar's progression throughout his career. He's just gotten better and better and better, completing over 7% of his passes. The one thing I love about him more than anything is that when he gets out of the pocket, he is now looking down the field to still throw the football. And 2 years ago, Lamar, he would have got out of the pocket and he would have been gone. So the progression for him is gotten better and better and better. And this new offense under Todd Monken, he's made him accountable. So one thing that we've seen this year that we haven't seen in the past years is that Lamar can come up to the line of scrimmage and he can make a check. If he doesn't like what he sees, he can make a check and get out of that and get to another play. So that's a great thing. The sad thing is you lose one of the best tight ends in the National Football League, and Mark Andrews, who a lot of people don't talk about him. Everybody's talking about Kelsey because he's dating some country singer. But Mark Andrews is a player.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening, Rod. Well done.
And that's how I would refer to. And that's how I would refer to Taylor Swift as well.
Yeah,
some
exactly.
country singer.
Some country singer. Yep.
I don't listen to country.
Okay.
She's the biggest
pop star.
On the planet.
Pop music.
Yeah.
I mean, but we
I don't listen to pop either. I don't listen to anything. I don't listen to any of that secular music anymore, right now.
Secular music. All right, I like it. What are your 2 cents on the hip drop tackle? That is a big conversation, has been, and that's what helped knock Andrews out for the year here, Rod.
And he did the same tackle to Lamar on the sideline, which hobbled him back to the huddle.
Yep. And the blue tent, they blue tented him.
That's a hard one because I play defense, and it is hard to tackle guys from behind. But to wrap, grab, and pull your body down onto the ankle, man, I don't think he was intentionally trying to hurt anyone.
Right.
I'm never going to say a defender's trying to do that. That's just he has to get the guys down, and he can't horse collar. He can't get it up there anymore. So that's a new way. I don't think they can take that away from a defender because I don't know how else you can tackle him sometimes from behind. If you just wrap and kind of roll, but still, again, you might hurt an ankle or knee with that.
So you're cool with keeping that in the game, and you wouldn't want that legislated out.
I don't, not unless that's the only way he tackles from behind, right? I mean, I think you got to look at all the players, and if players are starting to do that, it's become a pandemic of those type of tackles in the National Football League. then I think you have to look at it. But I don't think that's the case right now. It happened to Mark. Very, very unfortunate that Mark Andrews, one of the best tight ends, cannot play for this year for the Baltimore Ravens. So now the young player Isaiah Likely, has to come up, and who's a really good player, and he's going to have an opportunity to show his wares.
So just circling back, Rod Woodson, on what you said about Todd Monken, the new offensive coordinator, and they're holding Lamar more accountable. What do you mean by that?
Well, so before, Lamar never had the opportunity or the freedom to make checks at the line of scrimmage. And Lamar also can put his own plays in, which he never really had the opportunity to put in previous years. So I think when you have that, you feel emboldened to make it your own. But I think his growth each year for Lamar is that he's become a better passer outside the numbers, which was always an issue. He's become a better deep ball passer. But the key to me is when you get these quarterbacks who can scramble and make plays with their feet, is that once he gets out of the pocket, is he still looking down the field to make big plays? And he is. And the 2-year, like I said, the 2-year, 3-year remove of Lamar, even the Lamar that won the league MVP, he get out of the pocket and he was going to be gone. But he's exciting when he runs with the football in his hands. But he is now making it a choice for the defenders. Like, do I come up and tackle Lamar, or do I stay with my guy? If you stay with my guy, and then it's going to be plays like they did with Gus Edwards, and it's kind of that triple threat where he gets out of the pocket and he dumps it right over the head of the defender because he came up to try to tackle Lamar.
Rod Woodson here on the Rich Eisen Show. What are your conversations with Roquan Smith like? I'm a fly on the wall. What do you guys talk about?
Man, Roquan, we've only had a couple conversations, but the guy, there was an article written this past week that he is, and I said this, I've said it multiple times on the air and during games, is that he's in the room with the Ray Lewis leadership. He's not Ray Lewis in a sense because Ray had a very long, extinguished career and became one of the best leaders in pro football, period, in the history of pro football. But what he has done for this team since he's come over last year is that they weren't playing great football before he got there. And they were very inconsistent. He got there, and he's changed the way that they look at film, the way they practice, coming in early, staying late, being committed to each other. He has that fire. And if you see his little pep talks after the warm-ups for each pregame, he's going to bring those guys together, and he's riled up and he's foaming at the mouth. That's what Ray Lewis used to do. The only thing he doesn't do with Ray Lewis, he doesn't do the squirrel dance coming out of the tunnel. He doesn't do that.
Two different guys. Yeah, no doubt about that. So, I guess when you look at it, Rod Woodson, that, the two Ohio teams are somewhat diminished all of a sudden because of the quarterback position. One, where Deshaun's out for the year, and they're starting Dorian Thompson-Robinson for a second time, and you got to see at what he looked like the first time, and obviously a last-minute start against the Ravens, not exactly the best way to start your career. But you take a look there, and obviously Burrow, that was a frightening moment and one that could potentially linger for a while. So that leaves a team that's already beaten Baltimore and Cleveland, sitting right there at the Pittsburgh Steelers, potentially winning this division. Because if they win in Cleveland, they sweep the Browns. They have yet to play Cincinnati, who may not have Burrow for a bit, and maybe not even when they face them. How much of a threat in your mind are the Pittsburgh Steelers, Rod Woodson?
They're playing great football. I mean, a team that has been outscored and still has a winning record.
Outgained every game.
You never would have thought you never would in their life would have said that's possible. How can you get outscored but still win? And that's what they're doing. They still find a way on defense to make plays. And that offense for the Steelers, 1 drive, 2 drives a game, and they score some points and they win. And it's the craziest thing. That's why I give so much credit to Mike Tomlin. If nobody's ever been in a room when Mike Tomlin speaks, he can raise the hair on the back of your neck up and make you want to really play. And he's done a tremendous job with a group of players with nobody thought they were going to be having a winning record. And now having the two teams, everybody thought that Watson was kind of joking around with his shoulder, and now he has a fracture in his shoulder. And then, very scary with Joe Burrow just going down to throw it. And once he threw the ball, he kind of grimps, and you could see the pain shoot through his arm, and he can't play. And who knows how long he can play. So that's going to be very interesting. So the Steelers and their threat. Yeah. Now, the great thing is they got to come and play in Baltimore at the end of the year. The last game of the year. Yeah. It could be it.
Yeah.
They could be for all the marbles, right? They could be for the AFC North and who has that number 1 or 2 seed in the AFC. And that is a tremendous thing. And then, it's going to be fun to watch. When these two teams play each other late in the year or anywhere time in the year, they're always close games. They're very similar to each other because I played for both teams. And they're, the standard is the standard, and play like a Raven are the same motto, just in different colors. And that's why the games are always close.
So is that a yes? They are a threat, Ron?
I think they are a threat. You always got to think that any team inside your division who has beat you already is a threat, because if they sweep you now, if they don't win, all their games leading up to the point, and Baltimore does, then it doesn't really matter.
Right.
Because Baltimore have a better record. But if they both are winning games up to that point, and it comes down to that last game, and if they win, they have a half a game. And if they have the same record, then they win, they sweep, they have a half a game lead. Well, they win the AFC North. So it really depends on what happens leading up to that point. But it's going to be fun to watch when it does happen.
And the Ravens, Rod, are the first team in the 8-win club in the AFC. 2 others can join. Miami taking on the Raiders at home, coming off of a bye. And then there's that Monday nighter with the Chiefs hosting the Eagles. What do you think happens in that game, Rod? Your 2 cents on that one. What do you have?
I'm trying to figure out who is the Kansas City Chiefs offense. What's it really like?
Right.
And who is the Philadelphia Eagles defense? Because it's not the same defense that it was last year, where they had multiple sacks and interceptions. They're not doing that same thing. And an offense for the Kansas City Chiefs, they're not the same. And I don't know if it's because of the receiving core, exactly what, but their defenses are better. And then the the Philadelphia Eagles offense is still lights out. And it's going to be a fun game to watch. I just want to see which team really shows up to be that dominant team that we've seen in the past.
You're saying which team has more bark? Is that what you're saying, Rod?
My dog is barking in the back because my cat is at my door screeching to want to get in.
We can't have that. What is happening? Cats and dogs fighting together, living together in the Woodson household. What is the name of your dog, Rod? What is the name of your dog?
Well, that dog that's barking is Winston. We have 6 dogs.
What?
6 dogs and 2 cats. Yes, we collected more, Rich, since I've left the NFL Network. After my kids were leaving, my wife was getting a dog to replace the kids. Then my kids came back.
Yep.
And then somehow we got 2 cats in the whole mix of a whole thing.
Well, Suze is always after another dog, and that's just 3. That would be 3 for us. 6. Who feeds the dogs,
6.
Rod? Who feeds them? What do we got? Who walks them?
My wife is the alpha.
Okay.
She feeds them. They follow her. They do everything she says.
I know.
They don't listen to me. They look at me and go, hey, there's that guy.
I know exactly. I walk in the door and my dogs run past Dylan and Halo, these 2 lovely lady dogs, Goldens, white Golden and English Golden, and a regular Golden, and they run past and they just look for her. And I'm like, she's not here. That's the way I come home every day. They look for her. I'm out.
When I'm sitting here in the house, my dogs will go from room to room to room to room because my wife he's a substitute teacher, teacher's aide. Mm-hmm. So she's gone every morning. They're always looking for her. Yeah. They're not even paying attention to me unless I want to give them a snack.
Yeah, of course. But that's the way I was working with you too. So, Oh, man, I miss you. I miss you, Rod.
I miss you, brother. Love you, man.
Same thing. I guess last one for you. We just showed the schedule for the Ravens. Those last 4 games are insane. It is a good thing for them. It's coming off a very late bye. They turned down the bye for after their London game, right. And you got 2 Los Angeles teams built around it, and then at Jacksonville, at San Francisco, home for Miami, home for Pittsburgh. That's That's going to be a lot of rubber meeting the road between a 1 seed and who knows, maybe even a wild card spot, depending on everything. What are your thoughts on that, Rod? You know,
it is, and the Ravens were kind of banged up and beat up early in the year, and they got healthy, and then they got a little banged up because of the stretch run, right?
Yep.
So they're a little banged up now. So having that bye come where guys can get healthy and then they can get in fresh without, not having Mark Andrews. It's good. I think they'll do okay because their defense, man, they got some freaking, there's not a lot of name guys outside of Clowney, but Clowney's playing well. Van Noy, he was on a couch 4 weeks ago.
He's been great.
He is balling. So the veteran leadership on that side, and then Patrick Queen has just played so much better since we call him Agent Zero. Agent Zero has come over. Roquan Smith just plays sideline to sideline. And then the secondary, Geno Stone was a backup. He leads the league in interceptions. And so everybody has just played really good football. Everybody that's gone in, I think it's a deep roster. The Baltimore Ravens do have a very deep roster, so it's going to be challenging, but I think they can win the majority of those games.
All right. Before I let you go, you want to chime in on Michigan and everything going on, Mr. Purdue? What do you think?
I can't because, Jimmy was my roommate in Baltimore.
Right.
So I got a lot of love for Jim. I hope obviously they're going to get through all of it. He got his 3 games. They're still going to win football games because they can run against anybody in the national football or it's national football in college.
Yep.
So, other than that, I don't think they played Purdue this year.
Oh, they did.
So
they took care of business, Rod.
They did?
Yeah, you might have missed that.
Don't tell me.
You might have missed
Purdue is not playing good football. I'm just
That's fine. It's fine. No. So, Rod, oh my goodness, they just announced that? Did they just announce that? Okay, you are going to react live, Rod. Joe Burrow has just been announced he's out for the season.
Whoa.
The Bengals just announced it.
Oh.
Whoa.
I know.
Wow. Well, that the way when he threw the ball, the way he looked on the field, it was in pain. And then for him to leave immediately, went into the blue tent, went from the blue tent, went into the locker room. And he came back out with his shoulder pads on, but he wasn't even thinking about trying to throw the ball. He tried to throw it on the sideline, and he just couldn't even grip it. He just dropped the ball.
Well,
there's something in the wrist that's
like. But would you honestly? We spoke to, and again, I appreciate the time here. But this breaking news, and it's to have somebody like yourself while we're on the air. I'd love to get your thoughts. What do you do? The kid. You got a rookie who hasn't started a game. That'll change. What do you do? Do you call Brady? I'm serious. Do you call Tom and just say, what do you think? Or would that be an insult to Burrow? Like it's his team. Like, we're not going to just next man up is 12. You know what I mean? Like, how do you deal with that sort of? Because the Jets are kind of dealing with that right now. You're leaving a light on for your own guy. At least Rodgers has a chance to potentially return this year, which is nuts. Right. Well, what do you do if you're Cincinnati upon hearing this news?
Yeah, that's why when I came in the league, the backups are all veterans. And for some reason, they just think that you can't have veterans as backups anymore. The league every coach in the league just thinks all your backups only can be rookies. And that's not true. You can have backups as veterans. You just got to make sure that you have the cap situated the way you want it and need it to move forward the following year. So that's why having a guy, quarterback wise, somebody just has been there because that's an unknown when you have young guys coming in and play. They're going to play young. They're going to play like rookies. And if you have a really good team like Cincinnati does, even though their defense hasn't played, they've been very inconsistent this year, but you still have good receivers and the running game hasn't played well this year. Man, having a rookie come in and not knowing what he's going to play like, even though I think Browner played decently well for him, it's just having a veteran come in there. And they said that they're supposed to have Joe Flacco come in, the Cleveland Browns,
yeah, right,
and to work him out and put him on the practice squad. I get that because I'd rather have a veteran as a backup than a rookie, and I have no idea what the commodity is. Because I still lose my job if they don't come out and play well. So I'd rather have a guy that I know what he's going to do than he not. If the salary cap inside of your organization works.
Rod, take care of yourself, man. Love you. Have a great Thanksgiving with your fam.
Love you, brother.
Right back at you.
Take care of yourself.
That's Rod Woodson.
Yes, sir.
Right here on The Rich Eisen Show. Catch The Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.